Okay, number 11. Number 11, you take the square root on both sides. The square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of 9 is 3, because these are all perfect squares. So you end up with 4w plus 3, because everything has to be positive. Number 12, I was recording without recording. So I did 21 over 20. I put in y equals 420 divided by x, and I found the two numbers that multiply to equal 420 and subtract to give you 13. So 28 minus 15. And then I took the 21 and I divided and then reduced. And so the 3 goes out front, so you end up with 3x plus 4. And then the 7 goes out front, so you end up with 7x minus 5. And again, we did that one in class. So your answer is B. But I wanted to show you the graph of it. Some classes we did this one and some classes we did the other one. So this, of course, is in color. And it should be 21 right there. So graph. And I'm in a standard window. So that is A. So A does not cross the x-intercept. B does not. And D is fairly close. So I'm looking at A or D. So I can press enter on the equal sign, and it will no longer have those other two show up. But I didn't delete them in case I picked the wrong ones. Especially when you're dealing with black and white. So, and then if I want to change my window, I can go from I think it was, hold on, I forgot where it was. Let me look real quick. They are close, so between 2 and 2. So window, got negative 10. So negative 5 and 5, and then I can change this to negative 1 and 1, so it'll focus on the intercepts. And neither one of them, so I deleted the wrong one, so the answer was B. So my choices, there's B, highlight that one, and the other one I think was close. C was close. So that's B, and C, definitely nowhere close. So B, again, is your answer. So it intersects at the x-axis. And again, if you want to focus on it, you can change your window where you can only see that portion of the parabola. Number 13, I also did this one by graphing. I like this one because there's a couple of the answers that are similar. So you put your problem in Y1, your answer in Y2, and I've got my window in standard, but notice your parabola is really small. So looks like A and D are my possibilities. The other two were not. But I'm going to go ahead and leave them all on there. So we're going to go to our window, and we're going to change it from 0 to 2. And again, Y min and max, negative 1 and 1. So graph again. So there's A. So A looks great. B's off. There's C way over there, and D is definitely off. So my answer is A. Okay. Factoring. So to factor, you're going to do 18 times 2. 18 times 2 is 36. And again, you're looking for what multiplies to give you 36 and adds together to give you 15. And if you can't think of it, you do y equals 36 divided by x. So your factors of 36, of course, are 1 and 36. 2 and 18, 3 and 12. So 3 and 12 work. 3 plus 12 is 15. And because it's positive, they both have to be negative. And let me unzoom a little bit more. There we go. So you're going to have x minus 3 and x minus 12. But we're not done. You have to take the 18 and divide. So divide by 18 and reduce. So 3 over 18 reduces to 1 over 6. And 12 over 18 reduces to 6. 6 goes in there, sorry, 2 times, and 6 goes in there 3 times, so 2/3. So the 3x minus 2 is one of the factors, and 6x minus 1. And of course, the second one is what they have in there as an option. That's your A. Okay, 14 and 15. So 14 and 15 is the difference of 2 squares. So the difference of 2 squares is your second formula on your formula chart. So you have a squared minus b squared equals, in parentheses, a minus b and a plus b. It has to be a negative, so the opposite of squaring something is square root. So the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of 25 is 5, and you're going to have the plus and minus. So your answer is G. Same with 15. The square root of 36 is 6, and the square root of 49 is 7. And so you're going to have 6x minus 7 and 6x plus 7. So D is your answer. 16 starts in the solution. So you have the solution, you have root, and it is the x-intercept of the parabola. So anytime you can get to these, first thing you need to do is set it equal to 0. Has to equal 0, so that negative 11 has to move over, and then I want you to graph it. So we learned 4 different methods: solve by graphing, solve by factoring, solve by quadratic formula, and solve by completing the square. When you're dealing with multiple choice, the easiest is solve by graphing. So go to y equals and graph it. So 2x squared plus 15, and the negative 11 turns into a positive 11x. I'm going to zoom standard, get me back to a standard window, and I'm looking for the solution. So my solution is positive or negative. The x-intercept has to be negative. They're on the negative side. And so let's kind of zoom in a little bit. So window, I'm going to change this to -1 and 1 on my y max. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. Graph again. And so I can see my answers, 2 of them, is between -2 and -3. So they're both negative, so that eliminates B and C, and it's not -5. So my answer is D. So I don't have to know the exact answer when you're dealing with multiple choice. And 17. And then we are going to skip 18 and 19 and come back to it. So 17, we have 1/3 x squared minus 3. So y equals 1/3 x squared minus 3 graph. So it only wants the positive solution, so it wants that one. Well, it visually looks like it crosses at 3. So I can go to my table, and at 3, do I have a 0? Yes, I do. So my answer is 3. So your x-intercept is when y equals 0, in case you forgot. Okay, skipping 18 and 19 for now, and going to 21. Yep. So 21, just to keep in the same type. So again, we can factor, and you can solve by factoring, totally fine, but you can also graph it. So I either move these 2 over or move the 5 over. If you were solving by factoring, you would want to keep the x squared positive. But solving by graphing, it doesn't really matter. But I like to keep my x squared positive. So 5x squared minus 30x plus 45. So again, when you move over, these change signs. And graph. And it looks like I have one solution, and it's at positive 3. That's it. And so 22. This one is already solved for 0, so that's nice. So 3x squared minus 30x minus 72, and graph. So I can see one solution at -2, and I can check the others. You can also, if your solutions are large, or you can just go to your table. And so at -2, we have a 0. At -4, of course, we don't. At -6, we don't. And at -12, it's 720. We don't. So you're looking for when y equals 0 or at the graph. But if you can't see it, you can always go to your table and look at the answers given. 23. So 23, again, we're going to graph it. Move the 135 over, make it a negative. So 4x squared plus 12x minus 135. And so y equals 4x squared plus 12x minus 135. Graph. And this is the one that we did in class together, some of you. So we're looking for the positive solution. So you're looking for this solution here. So reminder, even though you can't see the whole thing, it is a parabola. Okay? So there's a bottom somewhere. And it's a U-shape because it's positive, it's going up. So you're looking for this point here, the positive side, that solution. So we're going to use second calculate. And we're going to use the 0. So with the 0, you're going to go left and right. So if you are trying to find the solution for this point, somewhere over here is going to be left, and somewhere up here is going to be right, because the parabola keeps getting wider. Even though it looks like it's going straight up and down, it's still getting wider. So if to be left, your y values need to be negative for the left, and for the right, your y values need to be positive because they're above the x-axis. So here's your x-axis. And x. Okay, so why do I say that? because when your window's from -1 to 1, it goes by really quick. So second, calculates above trace, number 2, which is 0. Left bound. So right now I'm at 0 and -135. So you can only go left or right. So I'm just going to go a little bit right so that you can see the line. So I'm at 2.4 and -82. I can press enter. So that's my left side. So I need to be on the right side for my next line. So go right until the y values turn positive. So, and y equals 2.19, but I'm at 4.4, so I should be able to see the turtle, but I don't. It doesn't show the turtle. So anywhere where your y is positive, press enter, and then you get another line. And then it says guess, so press enter one more time, and so it is 4.5 is your answer. So that's what you would enter. So if you were looking at it and it looked like 4.5 and you wanted to guess, you can always go to table set and go to 4.5, and then your y value should be 0. So if you're going to guess, check your guess. Number 24. So we did all that completing the square to be able to do number 24. So let's do 24 by hand real quick, and then I'll show you that's super easy in the calculator. So the opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing. So you have x minus 7 squared equals 16. And so the opposite of squaring something is square root. So the that x minus 7 ends up coming out because that they negate each other, and the square root of 16 equals positive or -4. And then to solve for x, excuse me, the opposite of subtraction is addition. So we're going to add 7 to both sides. We're going to add 7 to both positive and -4. So 4 plus 7 is 11, and -4 plus 7 is 3. So again, quickly, we have 2x minus 7 squared. And again, the 32 goes on the other side. So minus the 32. Delete. And to be able to see the answer, I need to be able to see when x equals 3 and 11. So I'm going to go to my window, and I'm going to change that to 15. And there's 3, and there's the 11. So 15, 14, and so on. Then you can also go to your table. At 11, you have a 0, and at 3, you have a 0.